Hey, hey, welcome everyone. Got a couple people hopping
Hey,
in.
Jonathan.
What's up, Devin?
What's up, Jonathan? How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for being here at the AM Sharp. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, we got people flooding in. This is going to be a fun one. All right, check this out.
Dang, look at it go.
We're going to be recording this one. It'll be posted on the YouTube channel today. But yeah, thank you guys for being here for the live. I know a lot of us are itching to get this NFIN proposal stuff figured out. So thanks for hopping on, Mark,
Thanks
Chris.
for hosting, buddy. Thanks for hosting, dude. I'm excited to get it going.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a good.
Still is just using paper then.
All right, so let's see. We'll put some of y'all on mute. Mute. Okay, cool. We'll give it a couple more minutes, and yeah, this will be recorded and posted. I'll try to post it in a few different spots, but Power Pioneers and some of the WhatsApp chats. So thank you guys for being here. We'll make this super valuable. Yeah, closed the first NFIN deal yesterday, and learned some things. So we'll share all that. Thanks for being here, Tom. Good to see you, Eric. Sweet. So we'll just give it a few more minutes, guys. If you have anyone that you want to be on this call, send them the link. Make sure that they're here. This is super important. The new PPA product in California for sure is Enfin. Pricing looks really good. I think you guys are going to like it. So this will be fun. Got to get Rick Joseph on here. He challenged me to a competition, so he's got to be here. Let's see.
Hey, quick question before we start, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Does Enfin have any differences to GoodLeap as far as their like 25-year production guarantees, battery replacement, things like that?
It's the same battery replacement. I believe it is a 5% higher production guarantee. I think Good Leaps was 85%. I want to say Enfin is 90%. We could double check knowledge base on that. Maybe Tom could check. He's always quick with that if you want. If not, no worries, Tom. We won't expect it out of you. But yeah, I think it's 5% difference. Everything else is pretty similar. We'll talk about some of the main differences. Maybe ask that question again if you would towards the end of the call, Mark. That'd be helpful.
Sure. Yeah. Can
Other,
do.
yeah, other people probably have that question. So sweet. We're at 11 attendees. It's awesome. We'll give it 2 more minutes. We'll start at 10:05 sharp. So we still got people coming through. So yeah, all the questions that you guys have about Enfin, just start making a note of that. And we're going to have a Q&A session. We're going to try to do this front part here in about 15 minutes. Just give you a quick screen share, show you how to build the proposals properly, price it properly, walk you through the sales process, what my experience was, what I liked, what I didn't like, right? Fully candid, Coach Wilson style, right? I call it as I see it. And then we'll open it up for questions. Try to keep this about 30 to 40 minutes and let you guys get back to your day. So, what's up, Taylor? Thanks for being here, buddy.
Jonathan, JCW,
Yeah.
JCW.
Nice studio, man. I saw that post. It looks really, really clean.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You ever know anyone that needs to record? Let me know.
Absolutely. Keep you in mind. Sweet. We'll get started here in just a minute at 10:05. Lily, welcome. Thanks for being here. Send out the invites to anyone on your team who wants to learn how to sell Enfin so they're not bugging you. Send them here.
Yep.
What's up, Lily?
Hey, what's up? I sure did. I said it like five people. I'm like, I don't want to hear questions.
Right?
Kidding.
We all repeat ourselves a lot in leadership, right? So
Yes.
that's the purpose of this. So I can have a recording. I'll be sharing this recording with everyone on Power Pioneers on some of the WhatsApp groups. Share it with your teams.
Awesome.
Lily,
Yeah.
did you bring cookies and snacks for everyone this morning or
No, not this, not virtually, but I will in person every
Ah,
time.
man, that's why I'm here. I'm getting off, guys. I'm getting off.
That was awesome. Yeah, we did a mastermind was it last week? Yeah, it's pretty recent. It was fun. Jeff, welcome, man. Yeah, people keep pouring in. This is fantastic. Everyone wants to sell Enfin. I freaking love it. Let's do this.
Yes.
Well,
I've heard
apparently,
it's
someone.
the best pricing. Like I have access to different portals. honestly, the pricing is good now that everyone has changed. They've increased, and Fin has increased before, and then they decreased. So I'm eager to learn how to use it with power, so I can see the difference.
Absolutely. That's exactly what this training is for. It's the tactical. How do you build the proposal? How do you price it accurately so you know what margins you're at?
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, pass this on to your team so they can walk through. So I'm going to be again, this is already being recorded. We'll go ahead and jump in and get started here. So my request is put yourself on camera if you can, so I can see all your beautiful faces today. Appreciate that. And then also mute yourself if you would, just so we minimize background noise. I'm going to mute some of these here. Perfect. Okay. People keep coming in, but let's just get started. So, I closed the first Enfin deal, I believe, in California yesterday. I had some good and some challenging parts that were um, a part of the process. So, yeah, basically, I'm going to share all of that here with you. I'm going to share my screen in just a second. So, my invitation, like I said in the beginning, is write down questions like as we move through this, right? I'm not going to take questions live. I'm going to try to get through this in about 15 minutes or so. So super quick to the point, and then go over questions at the end and share what I learned. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll jump in. So first thing here. So, what you want to do is when you start the whole process out, right? You're in the customer's portal. You've created the account up at the top here. There's a little project actions. I've been getting this question a lot because typically when you initially request the proposal, it defaults to vision. And then people forget that this little button up here exists. So let's just start with that. Go to the request proposal tab. You click on this, and then it's going to give this same drop down option, which I've already requested a proposal, so I don't believe it'll let me do it again. But it's going to give you the option to select Aurora, right? We're building everything currently in Aurora, at least for the next couple weeks. I did hear from Mark Romero that we should have full integration with Vision by the end of the month, hopefully, right? By the end of the month, that's the goal. So this is kind of a temporary thing, but don't stop selling for 2 weeks just because you can't take a few minutes to learn, right? So you're going to request an Aurora proposal, first step. And then once you get that proposal back, the next step you're going to do is you're going to create a duplicate version in Vision for cash. So I already have one prepared. This is the one that I sold. So let me just kind of walk you through the product configuration first. So if we go up here to the product offering, finance partner, equipment options, you're going to select cash. Okay. Now we're doing this so you can get the exact cash price to then carry over into Aurora for calculating your margins. You can do this with Vision Lite, I believe. I did the full breakdown because I wanted to see what the costs were. So you go into the module selection and you're going to select this domestic Q-Cell AC 430WC plus C1 plus. So that's the option you select. That is the only configuration that we're selling. So no other configuration in California, right? Other markets, I don't know, right? California is the only market that matters. No, just kidding. But Q-cell, right? You're going to select Q-cell as the inverter type. And the reason why is that these panels have an integrated microinverter built in. So we're doing something called AC coupling, meaning that we're actually going to use the Q-cell inverter, not the integrated Tesla inverter. So select that, click on the inverter. It's only one option, the built-in micro. And then you're going to select your storage option, which is again going to be the Tesla backup switch. Now, one call out here, I got this information actually from Mr. Owen Carey, is because we have to AC couple this system. Again, I'm not an electrical engineer type, so I don't know exactly the full reason. We can't do, we can only do up to about 7.6 kilowatts per backup switch unit. So if you're selling a system over 7.6 kilowatts and it needs two batteries, just to be safe, you're not going to select the backup switch with DC. You're actually going to scroll down and you're going to select the backup switch right down here where it says, we're going to do two of them. So no expansion pack because there's no inverter in the expansion pack. So we'll probably do some a little more in-depth training on that, but for right now, just know that if you sell anything over 7.6 kilowatts and needs two batteries, you're going to need to increase that, right, for each battery. So we'll save that and then get our pricing. So we come in here to pricing and you scroll down and you get your total cost, right? So there's the margin, the adders, right? And the total cost is $5.71. So this is what needs to match in Aurora. Okay, now this is a slight change that's going to be updated here soon. I did confirm that power purchase agreements are not subject to sales tax. So this 26 cents per watt here you see it as a sales tax will be added back into the margin. Okay, so just know that that sales tax is not required for PPAs in California. So that's something that, just to be aware of, right? All right, so moving along. So now we're going to switch gears over into Aurora. So we come in here, click on the view proposal for Aurora. It's going to open up Aurora for you. And then we have our designs. We're going to go ahead and open up the first design. I've already designed the system for time's sake, so we're not going to go through the design process. That's a whole other training. But basically, yeah, you just come in here. You can manually place modules if you want. They're going to default, the design team's going to default build you a max fit system and then just remove the panels that you don't want. Over here on the right, you're going to see a drop down. Make sure the 430s are selected, Qtron 430s, which obviously they are. They already have the default microinverter built in. And then you're going to run a simulation, which I already did, so don't need to do that. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and go back now into sales mode. Same design, first design. So this is what the customer sees. Okay, so this is what I presented yesterday. It's already got powers information already built into it. Looks pretty clean. We'll go over the exact pricing breakdown, but just to real quick show you what I sold. This is what the customer saw. 14,000 kilowatt hours, 19 panels. One thing to call out is Aurora does have a little bit more aggressive production numbers. So like when I originally sold this system, I think I had two more panels with a similar annual production. Similar layouts because again, different proposal tools use different software in the background to calculate shade analysis and production output, all that. So just be aware of that as you're kind of doing new proposals. It does show higher production than we're used to. So it will not match what it shows in Vision. So if you notice that, that's not your fault. You're not doing anything wrong. All right. It's just they're different softwares. So this is what the customer signed for, a crazy good deal. Check this out. So they got a 17.5 cent PPA, right? Let's share some love in the chat for that. Right? That's a killer deal. They actually talked to this person for a couple weeks. I originally had them priced with GoodLeap. I had to reprice it through this. It's a slightly more expensive than it was with GoodLeap. So I actually ended up shaving down the margin. I was going to make originally I think it was around a $9,000 margin. Now it's around six, to get the, same pricing. So there is a bit of a difference, but it's still very, very minimal. We got a 17.5 cents, 3.5 escalator. As you guys know, I love selling escalators. If you don't know how to sell escalators, attend another training. And that's pretty much it. And then in terms of how you price this, let me show you guys how that's done. So up here at the top, you have these icons, right? You can input their usage. You can adjust their design. You can adjust their storage. So let's touch that real quick. So if you come in here to the storage section, you're going to select yes backup, right? This is a Tesla Powerwall 3. I set the backup reserve as low as possible, 5%, because again, in California, the purpose of batteries is not backup, it's for energy arbitrage. It's going to default to self-consumption. We've been advised by Daniel Lee, our account representative, to just set it to energy arbitrage. I don't know what happens if you forget to do that, but don't forget to do that. Just put it on energy arbitrage because that's what we're told. And then you'll come in here, select your battery configuration. Again, this one's actually probably going to have a change rotor on the back end because I did select the expansion pack before I knew that whole inverter AC coupling thing just yesterday. You select the batteries, and then after you're done, you're going to go ahead. There's usually a button here that says simulate and then you click that, and it's going to add it into the design. All right, and then moving along to pricing. So we'll come in here to pricing. Again, this is already sold. So what you want to do is up here at the top where it says gross PPW, that's what you want to try to match as closely as possible to right here. So obviously, if you take out the sales tax, 26 cents, I'm actually a little bit lower. The final margin will probably be closer to 5K. Again, a competitive situation. We had like 4 or 5 other competitors, but won the business. And hey, I'll take 5K margin. Not bad. So that's the main thing you want to do is just make sure that the gross PPW matches. So whenever you come in here to pricing, which I don't want to mess with it since it's already signed, but you'll come in here. Let me do that again, slow down. So right here at the top right, you're going to see a little pencil. It says edit finance options. Okay. Click edit, and then it's going to load up. It's going to have, I think it defaults to cash. So you make sure it's NFIN is selected. And then over here, the pencil again, you click on that and it's going to show you what rate per kilowatt hour you can sell it at and then what the gross PPW is. And again, you're trying to match the gross PPW to what Vision says, right? Taylor looks confused. I know it's a little complicated. This will be a little bit more streamlined as we go, but for right now, this is the way we do it. The cool thing about Enfin is that they don't have first year savings requirements with backup, which is all we're selling in California, which is sweet. So that means you could sell up to 36 cents, and they don't require first year savings. So that's incredible. All the other providers require first year savings, LightReach and GoodLeap. So this gives us a lot more flexibility, right? If we're having, a situation where we need to add an extra scope of work or cost and get that monthly higher, Enfin is more flexible as a product in that regard. And you can sell it up to 36 cents. So again, for this one, I sold it at 17 and a half cents right here, and that's the gross PPW. So I'll save that. And then let me just kind of walk you guys through the contract process, and then we'll start going over questions. I can see some of you guys already got questions, which is great. Save those for another 5 minutes. So once we come back to the sales mode proposal, let me show you how to do the application. So the application was actually, here, go back there, sales mode design. It's pretty easy. So when you come down here, similar to Vision, and it shows the monthly payment, there's a little apply button that shows up right here where it says approved. So you'll click on this little apply button and it opens up the application. So let me actually show you guys a different one just so you can see, because I have another one that I'm going to be hopefully closing today from a friend. And it's pretty simple. All they require is the full social, date of birth, and gross annual income. And that's it. So they have the least amount of information that they require. And then you hit submit and you'll get approved within seconds. It's a 620 minimum credit, so easier to qualify for credit as well. So if you have any customers that failed credit, this is a great product to go back with. But let me just show you guys an example of what this looks like for this other client here, Sophia. All right, so we'll open this up, go into sales mode, go into the design, and then check this out right here. So see where it says apply now? That's where you apply. So you click on this. It's going to open up the application, takes a few seconds. And then you're just going to put in those 3 pieces of information that I mentioned, social, date of birth, and gross annual income. Okay, there it goes. All right. Also select the property dwelling type, single family dwelling, applicant, co-applicant, no co-applicant. And then again, full social, date of birth, annual income, check these disclosures. So Enfin is different than Good Leap and Light Reach in this way. So both Good Leap and Light Reach, it's a soft credit check. They never do a hard check. Enfin does a soft check in the beginning, and then I believe it's at permit submittal or somewhere from permit to install. They do a hard inquiry. So let the customer know it's similar to Concert Propel. They do the same thing where it's a soft check on the front end, and then if they do get to the installation phase before install, they do a hard check as well. So just make sure to let the customer know that that will show up later on the credit if they do move into the installation phase. So you check the box, hit submit, and then that's it there. Here's where it's a little bit different. So once you hit submit, let me just show you kind of what happens. Once you hit submit for credit, you go into your Enfin portal, always have the Enfin portal open, just like GoodLeap or any other portal, so you can see the project when it comes through. Right. So this project comes through, has the homeowner's information, and then it's going to send them a link for ACH first. So they're not going to get the agreements first. Okay. So after you do credit application, the next step is they have to get their banking information put on file. So again, always prep the customer for something before you do it, and just tell them, hey, they're going to verify form of payment. Obviously, no payment is taken until after the job is activated, which is typically 30 to 45 days after activation, Mrs. Homeowner, and that's going to be in months from now, right? It's going to take a while to get this all done. So they're going to get a link. It's going to either allow them to click on Plaid, which integrates it with their app and their banking app. They just give permission to share, and it happens within seconds. Or you can do a manual input and input their routing account number, hit save, and then it'll update ACH. After that's done, then contracts get generated. Okay. So the next step is you're going to get the agreement sent to your email first as the seller. Okay, so after you get the ACH, you're going to get the agreement. It's going to have the CPUC first, so you can review it on your device if you want with the homeowner, right? Go through the bullet points there. And then it's going to have a copy of the agreement as well. So let me see here. I think I pulled, is it this one? I'll see if I can pull a copy of the agreement and share it a little bit later. I was looking through the agreement, but there is copies of the agreement in the resource center here in Enfin. So if you go into resources, like I just did at the bottom, you can find TPO resources, come in here. You can find copies of the agreement here in the knowledge base. So this is the knowledge base essentially for Enfin. It's in your portal. And then, it talks about stipulations, copy of the agreement. I think it's got, let's just type it in real quick. And I would advise going through that. Like I was going through it in real time with the homeowner, just like reading it. And it's pretty similar. Like the main difference that I would say, I guess it's not there. The main difference that I would say is you can't do a buyout of Enfin's PPA. It's a permanent PPA. That's the only thing I don't love about it is currently there is no buyout. We've been told by the legal team they're working on it. Who knows what that means? I've heard that a million times in my career. That could mean next week, next month, next year. But they are, working on it. So what that means is if you do sell them a PPA with this, it is permanent as of right now. There is no buyout terms after year 5, nothing like that. So the contract doesn't have anything about fair market value buyout, doesn't have any, buyout or prepayment schedule. None of that's there. So that's for better or for worse, right? It's a little bit, less scary because the customer doesn't have a big scary number to look at. So it's easier to sell in that way. Um, and then everything else in the agreement's pretty much the same in terms of, I think Mark asked before the call got started, what's the production guarantee differences? Good Leap was 85% production guarantee. Enfin, I believe, is a 90%. So pretty similar. There's full battery replacements included, standard. At the end of 25 years, kind of standard terms, you can extend it for up to 5-year increments. You can do a upgrade, right, to a new system, or you can have the system removed at no cost. So the contract doesn't have any type of buyout associated to it. So if you're looking for buyout, like this is not the program at this time. But if you're looking for a really competitive, PPA, the pricing is almost identical to what the Good Leap DC2 program was. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there for the training portion and open it up for questions. So feel free to take yourself off of mute and camera on, please, and let's jump into questions.
Jonathan, I have a quick one. Um, Getting this integrate, like now that it's closed, maybe I missed this. How do you pass it off to power?
It's all automatic. Yeah, so once the contract is signed, it's going to go ahead and push that to power just like you would if you signed any other agreement. I had that same question, and within like 45 minutes or so to an hour after I asked that question in Slack, I saw the intake team process the paperwork and it's already in site survey scheduling. So it's going to have the same process. Good question. More questions? Anything about the products, even about how to sell it? I didn't really talk about how to sell it, but we can even talk about that. This is your guys' time.
Um, my question is, so at sale of property, it's only transferable. It cannot be bought out and included in and all that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
No
Sounds
buyouts at this time. Yep.
Just I've been seeing in the chat, so
good. Yeah.
620 credit score. I see yes.
620. Yep.
You guys,
Incredible.
this is really crazy because I have this access to another, myself, and it's 650. So someone could fail there and I guess pass here, which is incredible.
Yeah, no, it is incredible. It's the lowest credit required PPA in the market. I don't know how long that's going to be for. That's always the disclaimer. But yeah, Salil, you got a question?
Hey, Jonathan. Um, I wanted to know, like, how, in your opinion, like, in your experience, how does it connect? How does it compare to Light Reach PPA? Because interested to see how the comparison are in Illinois, but I'm
Yeah.
still not able to access my Enfin account. So it's just wondering, like, how does it compare in your opinion, like in California? So Light Reach, I know this
Yeah.
different. Maybe others can chime in. Other question I have is, uh, do you foresee any in the near short term, and that's probably you may not be able to answer it, but if you know, like, if there will be a direct vision integration like Light Reach has, and other other financing options do integrate directly into vision, so that we don't have to do this roundabout way.
Correct. Yeah. Like I said earlier in the call, this is not something that you should ever stop you from making sales. It is going to be integrated into Vision in the next 2 to 3 weeks, most likely. But yeah, for right now, it's this process I just demonstrated is the way to do it. Yeah, again, this is only a California specific call, like you mentioned, Salil. And so I can speak to California. Lightreach has the highest pricing in California period out of the big four, even compared to Sunrun, which we don't sell. I don't know why they think that they're worthy of the highest price point, but they do. So in California, I would not sell Light Reach. Personally, I have sold it. I've got like 3 Light Reach deals in the past 6 months. But definitely, let me put some people on mute, mute you, mute you, mute you. Okay, cool. So, yeah, you want to make sure that, in California, light reach, don't, forget about it. Like it's not really going to make sense. Um, Good Leap is the second with their N Phase 1 product. I don't really like it, I'll be honest with you. So, I'm not going to be selling that. I'm going to be selling this product. It's got the best pricing. Still don't have confirmation yet if we're going to be allowed to do second systems. Enfin does allow second systems. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Tom or someone else in the chat, if you have any word about that, please let us know if Power is going to allow second systems. But that would be huge. That would be a game changer. But yeah, for pricing and for the easiest to sell product, Enfin is the one you're going to want to sell. Like forget about GoodLeap, forget about Lightreach for right now.
Yeah, we have a decent amount of second systems. I mean, if Enfin allows it, why wouldn't our allow it?
I think they will, honestly, because they're completely separate systems and they're not a non-export. There's all these complexities that come with second systems and risk that come with them. So I think potentially more of just like integrity conversation because a lot of reps, unfortunately, in the California market aren't skilled enough to understand how a second system works in the real world and can create a lot of issues and headaches and customer service problems long after the sale happens. So I think that's why there might be some reluctancy because it's not, again, you got a lot of people out there selling products they don't understand, but we are looking into that to your point, Taylor. Matthew, you got a question?
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Jonathan, first, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate you, man. I have a few questions actually. So the first one is regarding just the Enfin login. You mentioned that we want to use the Enfin account. Are there instructions for that on Knowledge Base
There
to get
are.
that account?
Yeah, so there is a Enfin request form. I believe it's on Knowledge Base as well, but you can just reach out to Slack and say, "Hey, I need help getting account access," or a few different forms of communication. But yeah, get your Enfin account set up. You get your once it's created, you log in. You have to do your recheck validation. They do a biometric scan of your face, make sure you're not using somebody else's login credentials, so it's all associated to your device. And then you do a quick compliance training and then hit accept, and then your account is live. And then at that point, you can request Aurora proposals directly from Power.
Yep.
And the design team does the whole max fit. You can hit that button and it'll boom pop up with Aurora. And then again, you sell it in Aurora. And then Enfin's kind of like GoodLeap's origin portal where you just kind of use it to either like resend documents or like look at stipulations or stuff like that post credit approval.
Cool. Yeah, it looks great. Um, I was curious if you have compared the pricing with the GoodLeap standard program. I ran those numbers just yesterday for the first time, and I ended up getting a lower price per watt for the customer, price per kilowatt hour, with the same margin. I'm curious, comparing these two, um, why
Yeah,
you might choose Enfin.
I haven't done standard. I did end phase one and I did light reach. And like I said, light reach was a lot higher. End phase one was a lot higher. I haven't ran the standard, but
Yeah, Enfin.
the problem too is that we don't have like even like that sales tax one. So you like to get the real PPW and the real pricing on Enfin, like I think I'm probably one of the only or couple of people that have, done that, what I just demonstrated. So I'd be curious to see, did you price compare it like and do it this way I showed or
Well, I haven't run a proposal with Enfin yet.
okay. Yeah. I'd be curious to see how it compares. I don't anticipate it being lower because it is, like I said, the Enfin pricing is very close to what the DC2 was. So if the standard is, close to DC2, then maybe, yeah. Or is that what you're seeing? Are you seeing that the pricing is similar?
Well, at least with one option, I saw that the standard program was actually better pricing. So with the same margin, I got a lower price per kilowatt hour. So I was able to build in like $2,000 more margin
You
and
mean it was
keep
lower
the
than
same price.
lower, be more a little more specific, lower than DC2?
Correct.
That's crazy. I've not heard that. I'd like to see a screen share with
So
see if that's real.
yeah. I don't know if that was a fluke. I mean, I ran the numbers with N phase one and they were like ridiculously high. It was like 40% more or something.
Right.
What's somebody saying? Yeah, so okay. One interesting thing also is if we're using Aurora, I think that means we can upload green button data for system design. Is
Hmm.
that is that right? Did you notice that? Do we have that functionality in there?
Yeah. Yeah, it does look like that functionality is in there, so we can integrate that now. I know Vision, we're working on getting the Solar Fax integrated with Vision, which is probably going to be several weeks out. But yeah, you could do that right now with Aurora.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. All right. Hey, thank you so much, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, let's talk about that standard program offline because if it's better than DC2, I'd be surprised. But if it is, like, that's awesome. Armando, you got a question?
Y-
Sorry, wouldn't let me get my camera on. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. Let's see. I'll check the chats. Yeah, Jeff, let's definitely maybe get with Matthew or something. Just double check and see what he's talking about with this equipment configuration with standard, because that's curious. I've had issues with that one when I try to price it. I get like error codes and stuff thrown up in my face whenever I try to build that. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. Second systems, yeah, second systems is huge. Yeah, so yeah, and then Tom, I see the point. Yeah, we're not. This is a non-export system, is my understanding. It's a separate system, but it does push the customer to NEM 3. So it is a regular system. It can't interact with the first system at all. So I'm not an electrical engineer. I would assume that they would prioritize the first system more for export, and then the primary system that we're installing more for battery, charging and obviously peak load shifting, overnight usage, things like that. But curious, Tom, who do you think we would even reach out to approve that nowadays? Because that's a huge question I'm getting asked all the time.
It's just a question on Slack for second systems. You know, as long as it's moving in M3, um, just generally with power. But we can always reach out to the Infin rep whose contact info is in knowledge base too.
Sweet. Yeah, I did reach out to the two in knowledge base. I didn't see Daniel's, but I saw his bosses. I reached out to them and they referred me to Daniel. But I guess Daniel is our go-to, or maybe we just ask all three.
Daniel is the trainer, and Raphael is our
Raphael.
rep actually.
Okay, good to know. Maybe I'll reach out to Raphael, see what we need to do to get that set up. Because if it's already good to go, I mean, that's sweet. I mean, we can start selling second systems. Want to be careful though, because we've definitely had to stop and go a lot with second systems, right? And it can be frustrating. So we're not trying to upset anybody. Armando, looks like you're back. What's your question, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry about that. My camera took a dump. No, I just had a question in regards to the infant. Is that available in the markets that I was working those leads in, Illinois and Texas? Is that
It's supposed to be available in Texas pretty soon. I don't know the status of that. I've just been focused on California. So
okay?
answer is I don't know.
All right. Yeah. If you hear something, let me know, or I'll poke around as well.
For sure. Yeah, I know
Sweet.
people are itching to get that in Illinois as well, but I don't think it's live there. Texas, I think it might be, but I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks.
Sweet. Good to see you, man.
You too.
All right. Let's see any more questions before we wrap this up. And then I do have an invitation for you guys at the end here as well. If you want more trainings like this, if you're want more kind of tactical training or even closing training. I've got a Rolodex of top closers, some of you on this call, right, who are experienced closers and know all the talk tracks and how to price condition and how to frame things and all that stuff. And I want to have these Thursday, second half of the week meetings where we can jump in and do some more tactical sales training. So if that's something that you're interested in, hang on for a few more minutes. I'll have an invitation. Any questions before we jump into that? Eric, appreciate the love, man. Yeah, hopefully it helps. Let me know if you need any assistance. And if you don't have any account access set up, it's been a little bit tricky kind of getting everybody set up. Some people have access, some people don't. Some people are like confused or they're partially set up or they don't even know where they're at. They're just like, I think I have Enfin, right? If that's you, if you're on Slack, obviously reach out on Slack. If you need to schedule a one-on-one call with me, I will make myself available to do that with you, just to peek over your shoulder, make sure everything looks correct. And that way you're having success, right? The first couple deals are always tricky, even for myself. So let me just finish with this, and then we'll jump in. So I did encounter a couple challenges. I saved the challenges for last, right? Anyone who's still here maybe wants to know what challenges did I encounter. So I will. Oh, nice. Enfin is in Illinois. I wonder. but I don't think there was power in Illinois yet. But that's a good point, Marco. Again, I don't know who's calling the shots on that, but it's definitely not me. Um, so I did encounter challenges with the welcome call. So the welcome call has, I guess, historically been just an old school over the phone welcome call with Enfin. And that's what I've heard from other people in the industry who sell Enfin. It appears that they just rolled out a digital call pilot welcome call process, just like GoodLeap has. And I believe this account that I sold was one of the first, small number that they've started pushing towards. At least that's what it seemed like after 40 minutes on the phone with customer support and contractor support with the customer in the house yesterday. And the key on these things is just keep your cool, like be like, like, this is normal, right? If you just normalize it, then the customer's not going to know any different. And so we were sitting there on the phone, customer service, they were nice, right? And I was nice with them, right? Was trying to keep my cool and not get a little frustrated like I can get. But they literally didn't know anything. They're just like, oh yeah, let's put you on a hold. And they come back, oh, I'll put you on another hold and come back 2 minutes later and put you on another hold. And that happened literally for 40 freaking minutes. And they were like, yeah, unfortunately, like, can you try to use a different device? And I'm like, no, the customer just has their phone, like they don't have any other device. Yeah, well, we don't know why this is happening. We're gonna have to do a manual welcome call with like a person because this whole call pilot digital welcome call is new. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. I know it is newer for you guys, right? I just go along with it. And they're like, yeah, but that's going to take 3 business days to process before we can send that out. And I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds great. You know what I'm saying? So this one hasn't been welcome called, not for lack of effort, but because, again, these companies, crazy multi-billion dollar companies, don't even have these types of things figured out. They're like, I don't know what AI told us to do. Like humans don't control anything now. Ask Tom. It's all AI. I don't even know if that's really Tom. That might be AI Tom. But just that's what it is, right? It's a crazy world that we live in. So as we all ask our AI overlords what to do and how to process a welcome call, just be patient, have fun with it, laugh about it. It's ridiculous, it's insane, it's retarded. If you ask me, oop, can I say retarded on YouTube? But it is, so that's what you're going to encounter probably. Just be prepared for that. The welcome call process is clunky. At least my first one was. Maybe the next one won't be, right? Hopefully. But yeah, like right when we clicked on the welcome call to open it, it said error, can't fetch data. This is Lucy, Tom's AI using his Zoom account. I love it. So yeah, so you can't, there is no manual welcome call workaround at this moment in time. Like they're forcing us to go to this digital process, but they don't have it fully fleshed out potentially, it seems like. So just a heads up there. Other than that, everything was actually really easy. The application process is less information, super simple. Verifying their banking information separately off the agreement, I thought was very clean and simple. I actually preferred it to do it that way. Again, a little bit out of order with the contract happening after banking information, so just be aware of that. The contract was very, very simple, very straightforward. I'll double check, but I think it's the shortest agreement of all the PPAs that I've seen, so less paperwork. I think the entire CPUC plus the contract was like 20 something pages, I believe. It was very, very short. So I like that. That makes it feel less overwhelming from a customer experience. And then as long as the welcome call part gets dialed in, that's cool. For stipulations in the backend portal, I'll share my screen one more time actually to show you that. And then we'll go ahead and do the invitation to future training. So if you go into here to the back and you open up your projects um, and you click on this little view button, it'll open up the exact account. And then if you come into here, whoops, not that one, disbursement, I think. Okay, disbursement. So like this one here, they're requiring a full trust agreement to verify. So I have to collect that. They do seem to, be very specific. It has to be the full trust. They're even saying notarized. I'm going to verify. I'm like, that sounds a little bit overboard. Hopefully I don't have to get it notarized, but yeah, needs to have the full trust document uploaded for final notice to proceed. So any of the documents that are required need to be done directly here, or I assume if you put it into Power's Assets tab, they'll probably just do it for you, but I like to go direct to the source. So If you liked this training and want more like it, I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the screen real quick. You can scan this QR code. I'm going to be sending out invitations over the next week to future sales trainings. That'll be just like this. It'll be at the same location here, Go Green Power Zoom. And we're going to have guest trainers and speakers that are top in the field that have done, some 500 plus, 1,000 plus installations. So if you want more closing training, we also do setting training and then even some commercial training off platform as well, which is, available for people who want to peek into that. So I'll leave it up for another second or two. Scan it if you want to check it out. I'll send you some information and I'll open it up here for questions. Any other questions before we end the call?
Couple pesky questions, Jonathan, just from clients that have these type of questions. Do you know what kind of lien is put on the property with an Enfin PPA?
It's the same type of lien as every other PPA. It's an equipment lien that states notice of ownership, and that's it. So there is
Cool.
no debt or dollar amount attached to it, just an equipment lien.
And then you kind of went over this as well, but there's really no exiting this PPA. There's no early buyout. It will transfer to the next homeowner. You can't get out of it.
Correct. As of right now, that's correct. Yep. Yeah, as of May 14th, 2026 for record. That's the way the contract is written. Any other questions while you got me here? A couple more minutes. Forever hold your peace. Well,
Hey,
cool.
Jonathan,
Yep.
scanned this and I entered the form. I don't get the invite on the email, so I don't know what's going on with that.
I think you originally input your information when I did my Power 5.0 talk.
Okay, I got it. I got it. It went to a promotions.
Okay, there you go. Well, cool. Thank you, Khalil. I'll send you some
So
information
yeah,
next
thanks.
next week.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Yep.
Okay. Yep, thanks.
All right. Any other questions? Yeah, I'm excited. I've got another Enfin deal today. Hopefully get another one in. And then yeah, we're in competition mode, you guys. We're going into summer. So, Coach Wilson's is here to coach and to kick your guys' butts on the leaderboards. So let's see if any of you guys can beat my sales volume. I'm going for $1 million PRV in rolling 90 days. So let's see who gets there first. I think I'll be the first in the company to do it on record. Anyone think they can compete with me? I think Rick Joseph is. He said he's going to try to go for 8 deals. I don't think he's done one though. So whoever knows Rick Joseph, let him know that Jonathan's talking smack on a live call.
Jonathan, I've been collecting videos of you talking and stuff and making an AI bot that I'm going to use to sell deals and beat you on the leaderboard.
Yeah, hilarious. I do. I love it. All right, guys. Well, I got to get back to selling. So let me know if you guys need any support. Let's get out there and close some deals. I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you, guys. See ya.